Hello, I'm back again, and it's episode 2, I suppose, because it's the first time I've spoken since episode 1. I might, of course, cut this off the front so you'll never see me saying it, or hear me saying it, rather. I'm about to start writing a symphony, which is, I've tried to avoid being pretentious all my life, and I've finally given in and decided, fuck it. If you can't beat them, join them, I thought. So here's my symphony. I was going to call it my Ninth Symphony because, everybody's ninth is always the best, isn't it? Schubert, Beethoven, they're all the ninths that seem to be the best. Although I've got a soft spot for Schubert's eighth, the unfinished, but it was unfinished. And in fact, my symphony is the unstarted at the moment, isn't it? Because I haven't started it. Now, maybe it's weird, I don't know, because I'm not other people, but other people might make a lot of melodic sketches before they do the work. Other people maybe don't, but I haven't. I haven't got the faintest idea what I'm going to write, but I did say in my first video that I'd had a little scribble on some paper and I typed it out. I thought, okay, if I've got 4 10-minute movements. Now, I wanted this symphony to have a meaning to me. Now, it doesn't have to be the same meaning for everyone, but I wanted to hang it on something that meant a lot to me. And I think to everyone, because at the moment, the world's going through, should we say, quite an unusual, of course, wars and awful things happening isn't new. I've got this plan up here, and you'll see that with these movements, they will have a story to tell. I wanted to start the first act, if you like, of this symphony, the first movement. I haven't started it yet, but I'm expecting it to be a joyful caprice in English, or a capriccio gioioso in Italian. The second movement is a little bit more chaotic, and it'll probably sound a little bit more acceptable to your modern folks. It'll be a little bit more chaotic, perhaps, in its sort of story arc. The third movement, very thoughtful, slow, sad. This isn't just a symphony based on a war, but it is inspired by modern times, and modern times, sadly, are times of conflict and times of worry. So I'm going to have my slow movement be a very sad, slow and thoughtful piece. The fourth movement I have called Hope with Strength, sperare con forza. Just as I hope the actual situation in the world will be hopeful, I am also hopeful in my fourth movement. This is my workhorse piano, so I don't even use I don't use a mouse mat. That's how it's sort of got all worn out and everything. It's a real old workhorse piano. This is the actual values of the note come from these numbers. So that's a crotchet, quaver, minim, semi-breve, and so on. And these are the smaller notes, so there'll be a semi-quaver. With this opening movement, I want it to be quite. I want it to move along. I'd like it to be quite exciting. I have this feeling that I want it to be a sort of exchange of messages being taken up and carried on like a relay. So, and it's also something that the players would find easier if we're playing fast. If I want to create a fast movement that just bounds along, and it's not going to be totally happy all the time. There's going to be a looming feeling of anticipation of negativity in it. But generally speaking, it's your everyday story of a city or a village or a person. It's just going to be a light, capricious adventure. And I want it to be almost like synapses, nerves touching each other and carrying on and taking the message that little bit further down, which is actually quite convenient for the players, because if I've got, let's say, the violas doing I want a run of, say, 6 bars. Well, I mean, the violas of, the LSO, the LPO, the RPO, all of the big orchestras, they can easily handle a 6-bar phrase, no problem. But sometimes it's quite nice to give them 2 bars each, then let the other section, let's say first violins, take it over, and then they've only got to read a very quick 2 bars, get it right, and then they've got 2 bars off while the second violins take it for the next 2 bars, that sort of thing. So it's almost like pass the parcel. Melodically, I'm going to think without any thought form and without any preconditions, without any pre-thought. And that goes for the key as well. I would prefer not to think in any key. I'm hoping just to write this as it comes out and see what happens. Anyway, so I've decided I'm going to start this with a very soft, which is contrary to the whole spirit of the first movement, which is going to be quite busy, albeit light, messages darting backwards and forwards. And I want a little surprise at the front, so I'm going to lull everybody into a false sense of security. So if I do a meaning, yeah, see, there it is. That's my first note of my symphony. Hooray! So I want each violin to play a different note for a semitone apart. So we're going to go from there. There's the first 6. You see, 2, which is fine as long as I put it there underneath, so it'll go a slur there. So now I've got the first violin's playing something like this. It's going to sound like this. It's a very gentle sound, and I'm going to take the second violins and do something very similar with them. Each player a semitone apart. It'll be like a sort of very soft gong, because I'm going to mute them as well, put them in mute. And I can see the little pink box this time, so I just move it to there. So everyone knows what to do. And the next thing I want to do is I'm going to use timpani to give us a real little badang. At least I think I am, and you'll find out next time, I suppose, because I might be leaving you now. I'm doing a bit on my own, but if I do get the next bit, I'll come back and change in mood, because I want there to be this first 2 bars, however brief, is to lull you into this sort of mysterious sense of quiet feeling, and it crescendos from the beginning straight into bar 3, which is probably going to start off with some timps, probably using hard sticks to give you a real jolt. That's the idea. That was the word I was looking for. Okay, well, I'll either see you next time, as in the next little filmy thing, or in a minute, like now, rhythmically indistinct introduction, the swell on the strings, and then strings, and now that'll probably work when everything else is in. And I want my A to carry on. So it's not doing option 3 clear. I'm going to have to stop now because the finale is letting me down really badly. I've spent about an hour trying to get this bloody oboe written in. I've had it today, I'm afraid. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to tell you what happened and whether we were able to mend the finale enough, or maybe I'll have to just transfer it to a different score. There's some bug in that finale score that's really slowing me down. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you again soon.